Okay, so this is phase 1 of Challenge Pit. You'll notice that my order of characters makes sure Cat's in the middle because I'm going to be calling her to assist a lot. The purpose of this run is to do essentially as little damage to Gamorrean Captain as we can. And ideally, it should do a lot of damage. It's much easier if you start at 100 because you can tell what's going on. But since this has taken me a few attempts, obviously other people have hit it in spite of this very kind message to try and let me record this. So since we don't want Captain to get stacks to take down extra damage, we're actually going to start by hitting the guard, and Kenobi is going to target himself with his special because that gives him extra ultimate charge. And we want him to pop his first ultimate pretty quickly. I like to then use Shakti to give speed up to C3PO. I find that if I don't do that, the start of the run is very difficult. If my C3PO was a little bit faster, I could maybe put that on Kenobi instead. All right, so the core of the run is in Kat's Xian ability, and when she uses it, it swaps turn meter and gives this character the Xian ability. And what that means is every time that he attacks out of turn, or Commander Ahsoka Tano attacks out of turn, it makes the next Force Leap deal more damage. And we are going to hold off doing Force Leap until the very, very end. The next thing we have to do is we have to get 3 stacks of translation on Kat. Right now she has 1. And obviously the only special she can use right now is Force Leap because Xian is on cooldown. So we're going to use damage immunity and cooldown reset on her to reset the cooldown on Xian. So now to get her the second stack, we're going to use 3PO special on Kat. We're going to target this because we don't want to put all of that damage into Gamorrean Captain because then he will start his scaling quicker. Every 2% damage that you do makes it very difficult. And I've already forgotten. I should have written down what percentage he was at the start because we really need to pay attention to that. Unfortunately, it didn't. But I'm going to guess from the looks of this that it was about 88.4. Obviously, it's much easier if it's 100 because then it's 198, 96. And it's much easier to kind of keep track of what's going on in the run. So second thing is we want to make sure that the 2 characters with Xian are JMK and C3PO. And you'll notice there that all 3 of them have Xian at the same time. That's kind of the state that we want to keep throughout the whole run. And now that we have 3 stacks of translation over here, every time 3PO basics, that's going to reduce the cooldown on Xian form. And with Kat, we're going to be using Xian form a lot. So we're going to get into ultimate here in a second. And this is really nice timing because it gets rid of the death mark and the heal immunity from General Kenobi. And then I'm going to target this brute, and you guys don't know this, but if I was to basic here, Kat would take the next turn, and her Xian form would still have 1 turn of cooldown left. So if we call 3PO to assist, it's going to A, kill this guard, because 3PO, we've used an ability, we're going to call an assist. And B, it's going since Kat has 3 stacks of translation, her Xian form is now off cooldown. And that's kind of the engine of the run, is making sure Kat has access to Xian form every single time she takes a turn. The nice thing about how this engine works is when we use Xian on JMK, you'll notice that Gamorrean Captain has a lot of turn meter, but it swaps turn meter, so it basically just guarantees that JMK is going next, even though we're about to give him a lot of extra turn meter. So now, what Jedi Master Kenobi can do is you start using his ability, his middle ability, I don't know what it's called. I will do what I must, that's what it's called. He's going to start using I will do what I must on Kat. Because when JMK uses a special ability on somebody, it increases their mastery. And the higher we can stack Kat's mastery, the more damage her final Force Leap is going to do at the end. So in a moment, we're going to see the second key part of the run, which is getting damage immunity onto General Kenobi. Now, the Captain has no health right now, so we're going to middle ability with General Kenobi. Sorry, no turn meter, not no health. Basic with 3BO. Should have probably targeted a guard there. And it doesn't make a huge difference. It just means that now, when I use this Xian form, it's going to be overkill on the guard as we get him out of the way. All right, so we got this turn before the guard went. It's kind of deliberate. And now, see how he has low turn meter? And we know that he only has 147 speed. So we throw damage immunity on him, and now he's going to soak up a lot of hits. But notice that every time guard goes in, Captain, he hits one of the others. And if he hits Cat or Shakti too much, they start taking the bonus assists instead of C3PO. And when that happens, it's very bad. And so here is where I keep checking my notes. I think we're good. I think we're above 2% here. Above 4%, sorry, damage done. I want to say it was 88.4% damage, but it's pretty close. So if I use this middle ability on Cat, it's going to push Gamorrean Captain over the threshold. So instead, I'm actually going to use it on 3PO. And this credit to that strat goes completely to a video I saw by Padawan Tano, where in the middle of his run, he throws a couple of those on 3PO, and it makes a huge difference, this one too. So notice he's still not below his threshold. So we throw that on 3PO as well. And now I'm pass that to Kenobi. And now we have Shen form again. Like I said, it's off cooldown a lot, and so now when we get the assist, you can see 3PO assists every time. No point in using damage immunity because Kenobi still has it. In spite of all of these turns we've taken, Kenobi still have it. So we continue to go to work, and 3PO continues to assist. And every time he assists, remember, that lowers the cooldown of Shen form. Now, that's probably crushed us, because you can see that 3PO still has his purple protection, and Ahsoka Tano doesn't. So when we use the middle ability here, 3PO is not going to assist. Commander Ahsoka Tano is. Oh, ult has worn off, so it actually didn't matter. So we're going to keep building it up. We're going to put damage immunity back on Kenobi. Notice how 3PO's Shen has worn off. That actually worked out really well because the damage immunity gave Cat her bonus protection back. So we might actually be okay. And we didn't miss any 3PO assists there, right? That's very, very lucky. We kind of caught the right side of RNG in the exact moment when Cat dipped below 3PO's health and protection threshold is exactly when we weren't calling any assists because ult had worn off, and we have to set up Kenobi's damage immunity again, which then gave protection back. So see how his bar is completely full now? This is a really good opportunity to get the third stack of translation on General Kenobi, and then everyone attacks. Because he was a full turn meter anyway, right? So that's extra Shien damage here and here. So keep going. I'm going to call Kenobi to assist. And then he's not ulting yet. It's Cat to assist. And now the nice thing is when we call Cat to assist, 3PO is still assisting. So let's wipe out the ads, so you don't like those. My timing for checking this part, and I just had to go check my notes again for damage percentages. When Gamorrean Captain has 8 turns left, that's often when I pop second ultimate. So I pop my second ultimate. That transfers all of the mastery that Kenobi has, gets transferred to the other characters. So now Cat's mastery is very, very high. We're going to finish off the guard. We're going to call an assist on Kenobi. So we do still have 3PO assisting. It looks very close between the two of them. We must have missed an assist somewhere, because normally I would Shen here, but it is what it is. I don't get to do that. And you can see God is now hitting very, very hard. Very, very hard indeed. Put the damage immunity back on Kenobi. Hopefully 3PO is still going. She's going to call 3PO to assist here to make sure that the cooldown comes up for JMK's damage immunity here in a second. This is the really sketchy part of the run. This is where at any point he could just absolutely murder somebody, and we don't like that. He could just murder Cat here with his damage. Notice how 3PO keeps assisting. And now you get to start thinking about how brave you want to be, right? Captain is going to hit Enrage really soon. 3PO is almost dead, but this guarantees the 3PO assists, right? Gamorrean Captain is about to hit Enrage. 3PO is about to die. The boss has taken over 6% damage now, I think, if my notes are correct. That means he is currently absolutely blasting us with damage, right? So you can just throw in the Force Sleep on the next turn and call it good. And honestly, if you're in 3BO lives, if you're in a pretty good guild, that's what I'd recommend because people are going to be hitting it. Obviously, I asked them nicely here to not hit it so that I could have a few runs to try and get the RNG. I believe this is my 4th run through, might be my 5th. I think I probably said at the start of the video. But we didn't come here to risk it, to not risk it. So we're going to throw in a mass assist. And then Gamorrean Captain is enraged. So what we're going to do is, if I think Cat can survive another turn, then I can throw this on her. And if I think she can't, then I should throw damage immunity on her. So we're going to go for it and see what happens. And cross our fingers. Oh, please. So this is perfect. So now, Cat is this is very lucky. If 3PO had survived, he would then be assisting from this Shen, and we get extra damage on Force Sleep, but he didn't. So now we're going to pass Shen across to JMK, swap 10 meter, get in some damage, and some. Remember, every single one of these out of turn attacks increases the damage of the Force Sleep. Then we're going to throw damage immunity on Cat, and then it's going to be Kenobi's turn, and we're going to all assist. And that's a lot of extra damage on this final Force Sleep. And then he's going to kill everybody. He's going to go absolutely bonkers, right? Imagine trying to live through this, right? This is what I just attempted to live through. And then we get the final hit, which it's not going to be quite as big as it could have been because 3PO died. And there was a point where I missed a Xian, right? And 3PO didn't assist, but it should still be pretty big. And there you go. So I want to say it was 88.4 to 17.29. I have no idea what that is. It would have been very easy to work that out. If the boss was still at 100%, but it's close to 30 million damage, so I think we probably call that good. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out and ask, and hope it was good.